When it comes to the extreme whereby an individual is so insecure, possessive, tracking you and taking on even your calls, your phone, that is not healthy. That is toxicity, and it can lead even to physical abuse. Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. I hope your day is going good. And in case it's not, just trust in God. Welcome back to Conscious Vlogs. We're going to be discussing how to know you're in a toxic relationship, or maybe you can also be asking yourself, is this the right relationship I'm in? So we're just going to give you an outline of a few things that will maybe make you decide on whether this is a toxic relationship or it's not. Because you might be in a relationship where you see maybe different behavior, maybe there are things happening that you don't know where they're leading to, and you're asking yourself, am I in the right place or am not in the right place? A toxic relationship is a relationship that has no future. And yet the partner in that relationship is still wants to continue maybe wasting your time. A toxic relationship is a relationship that has abuse. A toxic relationship is a relationship whereby you're being manipulated in that relationship. To just know whether you're in the right path in terms of your relationship, maybe you are young, maybe you're not maybe experienced in relationships and so on, you can just check on these few points that you're going to be naming over here. So not something that will happen once or twice for you to make a conclusion. This is something that you'll see again and again and again. Not necessarily the same lie. You might also find that things like maybe they tell you, maybe they're important things in the home to run the home, and maybe they're responsible for maybe paying a certain bill or even paying school fees at a certain time. Maybe you've put your money together, you've discussed and said that this month you're going to pay this amount. So the moment you call, maybe you get a call or an email from the school telling you maybe, your child has not paid this amount, or they are having this amount of outstanding balances. So you're so sure that, we discussed this with my partner and we said we are going to sort it out. Now what's going on? That is when you find out that this person I'm with is not someone who is honest to me. So one main trait of a toxic relationship is dishonesty. That is the first example of someone who is with you. And I'm not saying that anytime there's a small disagreement, or maybe there are white lies and black lies, though a lie for me is a lie, but there are small lies that you can brush. There are small lies that you can decide to brush off, but there are big lies, like serious things that happen again and again and again. My sister, if you're just like 6 months into the relationship and you've realized like 4 or 5 major lies are taking place, please, you're in a toxic relationship and it will lead to worse and worse conditions. Just find your way and get out of there. Okay? Case in point, you can find maybe your partner told you, I'm going to this meeting, or I'm going to the office, or I'm going to meet a certain individual. So they meet the certain individual, maybe they take maybe the whole night off or the whole day off and maybe part of the night. So come to when they are coming back to the home, you find that they just tell you, I was with a certain person, or I was at the office, or I was in a certain funeral meeting. And then you, I don't think my teeth are clean, I've just eaten sukuma wiki, I should have brushed. So you come to find out, maybe you meet the person that they were supposed to be with. When you talk to the person that they were supposed to be with, they're like, when was that? When did he or she say that we were meeting? No, I didn't meet that person. And then this is not something that will happen once or twice for you to make a conclusion. This is something that you'll see again and again and again. Not necessarily the same lie. You might also find that you've already explained that I'm the kind of person who doesn't like when we shout at each other, or when you shout at me. In case you have an issue with me, just call me, sit me down, and talk to me. And if you feel like you can be able to, that you can't control your shouting, just text me. I'll be able to get it and I'll bring it up and we can discuss it amicably or the right way. So you try and tell your partner, this is the person I am and this is what I prefer to be. Maybe, I know disagreements are normal in relationships. So because disagreements are normal in relationships, we don't expect you not to have disagreements. But if at all you have already talked to your partner, you've already agreed, maybe in case we have a disagreement, I prefer for us to be discussing it like this, or to be resolving it like this. and yet your partner keeps on maybe abusing you, something like abusing you and making you feel worthless every time you have a disagreement. That is a pattern that is growing, and it's not something that will be resolved soon, because you've seen it maybe again and over 6 times maybe in a year, and you've always, after any disagreement, you've always discussed and said, no, next time we have a disagreement, I know disagreements are normal in a relationship, but in case we have a disagreement, let's be doing this. Let's not be maybe shouting, or let's not be attacking each other at points that will make me feel less of a person. And yet your partner keeps on doing it and doing it and doing it. So in such a case, you just know this person is clearly showing the kind of person they are. And it's not good for our relationship, which means it's a toxic environment that I'm in. And then another sign that maybe there are patterns, how to know if there are patterns in the relationship of disrespect. You find that maybe you've agreed, maybe as a couple, As a couple, you've agreed that anytime we go maybe out separately, we try to come to the house at maybe latest 12 maybe. You've agreed with each other, you've discussed. But you see, anytime they go out, they just keep on coming maybe in the morning. That is a toxic relationship you are in. I'm not telling you because you're in such a relationship to leave your relationship. Kindly get me right. Try to find a way of addressing the toxicity in the relationship and getting it out of the way so that you can move on and have a peaceful coexistence. Because toxic behavior can lead even to abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, and so on and so forth. Another way that you know that I'm in a toxic relationship is where they don't consider your input when it comes to financial decisions. Things like maybe you have a joint account with your partner. You put your money together maybe for saving. You find that you might have a partner, who will just go to the account and withdraw whatever large sums of money they feel like, just because maybe they're a signatory in the account. Those are people who you can't maybe build and grow with them, because these are people who make their own financial decisions like they're single. So in such a case, just tell the individual, since you're making decisions as if you're single, I would rather be out of this relationship, because I don't think such a person has respect. I don't think such a person values you, because if they valued you, they would make a financial decision that included you. Things like maybe buying big decisions, like maybe buying a car for the family. You discuss with your partner, we'll buy a car, that this car has to cost maybe $500,000 most. That is 500,000. So we have this money in the account and we have to maybe do this and this. The person goes ahead and maybe buys another overpriced car without even consulting you. My sister or bro, you are not valued in that relationship, and that will lead to toxic behavior. That will put you in a position whereby you start thinking, am I not good enough? You start getting mentally disturbed. You start getting maybe even you start getting aggressive to just pass your point across. So this is a very toxic environment whereby you need to resolve it. You need to sit down with your partner. You need to find out how we are going to be dealing with that issue, if in case it ever arises again, or any other different issue in line with that. A partner who values you will include you in their financial decisions. Will tell you, this time, babe or bae, we have to go and buy another investment property. They won't just go and buy it without your input, because even though they might be the ones controlling the cash, as much as they might be the ones controlling the cash, you matter, because whatever decisions they make financially will affect you, will affect, maybe if in case it's a family with children, will affect your children. They will either gain or lack from it. So it will be better for the two parents who are involved in that relationship to be able to make such relationships in order for the good of the family. Because yes, you might be aware, you might even be very good in finances and financial decisions, but just an input from your partner shows your partner that they are valued, they are in the right place, they are appreciated, and they are good, they're together for the long run. Because someone who just goes and maybe buys a big item and yet you're two people, even if in terms of gifts, for me, my belief is that if it's a gift they are buying for you, it should not be money that will make a dent in your account. If at all you have a lot of money, then you can buy a gift like a car. If at all you have maybe loans, it doesn't make sense to surprise maybe someone with a car. You need to focus on the future. We understand each other. Now, another way to know whether you're in a toxic relationship is if your partner is ignoring your needs. I mean, you're in a relationship, you're in two people. In case you're dating, or in case you're married, or in case you're engaged to each other, there are circumstances whereby as much as you're together, you're in love, you'll need to maybe be apart for a bit. Like maybe have your own friends, he has his own friends. So that in case you have a disagreement, you don't have to depend on his friends maybe to intervene. You can depend on each of your friends to come in together and to help you maybe resolve it. Example is in case your partner is ignoring your financial needs. Maybe they are the breadwinner, and because they are the breadwinner, they have the majority of the money. And maybe you contribute personally to the budget for the home in such a way that maybe you pay the house girl, maybe you pay some other bill like maybe water or maybe food. So you pay that, and yet it's little according to maybe what you earn. If at all it's little according to what you earn, your partner should be able to sit down with you and should be able to even understand and discuss it and find a way of doing the deficit. If you find your partner is ignoring, even maybe there is no food in the home, or maybe you're supposed to pay the electric bill and it has been disconnected because maybe your finances were a bit less, or maybe you had something for that month that required that money to be diverted, and your partner is ignoring, you're not in the right place, you're not heading in the right place, you're not with the right person. In case of such an indicator, just sit down with your partner, discuss it, find a way forward. If it can't be changed, I think you will suffer a lot, because that is someone who doesn't even think about you. That is a selfish person who thinks person to be within a relationship is very, very uncomfortable. Because life has adjustments, and you always have to adjust as things come. So you find that you are there with a partner, and maybe that month your money has been diverted maybe somewhere else, but because you're the one who normally pays the maid, or you're the one who normally pays the house help, or you're the one who normally pays the electricity bill, they are so rigid in their stand, they don't even want to chip in and assist, and yet maybe they have the higher amount of the salary in the home. So you find such things, if you keep on disagreeing on such a small thing, you keep on disagreeing and it doesn't see sense, which is just very direct. If you keep on disagreeing on such a thing, on such a small issue, you're in the wrong place and it's a toxic relationship for you. So you need to find a way to get out of it. Yeah. There's a small bit of possessiveness in each and every relationship. I mean, you already know this is my person, this is your person. So your person will always want to be, sometimes a bit of jealousy is normal. I mean, a bit of possessiveness is normal. That's what I'm saying. But when it comes to the point where you have a partner, they are even checking your fuel gauge, they are checking the miles that the car has used, maybe when going to work and back, they're even putting a tracker on your phone, they're even asking you not to hang out with some friends. Yes, there are negative friends that maybe they can give you an opinion. An opinion is very welcome. You can tell me, I think such and such a chick is not good for you because, and you give me your reasons. No, you don't just come to me and tell me, don't be talking to maybe Melon. You understand? So, and then you tell me why not to talk to Melon. After you explain to me why not to talk to Melon, give me space. Let me make a decision on whether Melon is good for me, according to what you've said, and even find out if it's true or not. Like, don't push Melon. Don't push me into stopping to see Melon. Personally, I'm an adult. Like, by the time we're getting in a relationship, we're growing in a relationship, we're already adults. There is no way that you can start maybe wanting to control me in who I talk to, and so on and so forth. Possessiveness in every relationship, and that is healthy because it at least makes you know appreciated, I'm loved. But when it comes to the extreme whereby an individual is so insecure, an individual is so possessive, an individual is tracking you, an individual is checking on even your calls, your phone calls, and you've not given them any reason to do that. That is not healthy. That is toxicity, and it can lead even to physical abuse, because in case you don't accept with what they are always doing, or in case you don't agree with what they are always doing, it can make both of you fight. The moment you start fighting, hapo ndio shida inakujia. That is now the toxicity that you're talking about in the relationship. To know maybe whether you're in the right relationship or you're in a toxic relationship is some behaviors that are controlling from an individual. They control, like maybe who you talk to, how you talk. They want to control even how you dress. Yes, people are different and people grow and maybe have to become one. But now, when you get an individual who is so obsessively checking how you're dressing, like, it's not about this dress that I'm wearing. It's about the person that I am. Yes, I might be dressing maybe in short dresses, and you might be uncomfortable with it. But that is not, I don't think that is my issue. What I can do is, I can just tell you, the dress doesn't change me. I'm the one who wears the dress. The dress doesn't wear me. Just because I'm wearing a short dress or I'm wearing a certain top, maybe that is see-through, doesn't mean that maybe when men look at me, or when men show interest in me, maybe because of the way I'm dressed, I'll give in. It doesn't mean that. It's about me. It's about who I am as a person. Another controlling behavior is maybe telling you you can't go see friends when you want to go see friends. You can't even call certain members of your family because the partner thinks maybe they are misleading or what and what. Such things, they are so backward. When you marry a girl, be sure that it's the girl for you. Don't marry a girl that you have doubts about. Don't marry a girl that you have insecurities about. Marry within your class, or maybe above your class, while you know how to manage the chick. We understand that there are different people and some go together or some look like, okay, we understand that maybe your class, maybe you're a high class and I'm a middle class. Maybe marrying you will make me insecure. But make sure when you're marrying me that I'm the right chick for you, that it won't lead to a toxic relationship, maybe because of insecurity, because of the way I carry myself, and so on and so forth. Another way to be able to understand that you're in the right relationship or whether you're in a toxic relationship is, so lack of support is another indication that maybe you're in a toxic relationship. Support in terms of you bring up an idea where you tell your partner, we need to focus this year on maybe growing beans, because last year beans had a very good price. You find that your partner brings you down. Every suggestion you make maybe that might help you to grow, your partner pushes it down. Reason being, they might be insecure that in case you grow and maybe you are above the level where you are, you might no longer be suitable for them. This is a very bad habit. I've seen many men mostly do it, whereby you, even as much as you have money, you are rich, and you have a partner who may not be as well off as you. Instead of supporting the partner to grow to your level so that you can grow your family to be even more successful, you find that a man will find every way to just kugandamiza, to push the partner back. Because they know maybe if the partner is at a certain level, they will no longer be able to control them. That is a very bad habit, because in case maybe, God forbid, something happens to your partner, and maybe you have children, like maybe death happens every day. You never know when and where. So you are there refusing to make sure your partner is growing, maybe financially, maybe even spiritually. You are there trying to make sure that your partner doesn't grow, so that they can't outgrow maybe the class they are in or the amount of money they are in, and go to the next, because you're insecure about yourself, because you think if they grow, they will leave you. That's a very bad habit. When you're together forever, or when you're in it for the long run, until God knows when, you'll always want to support your partner. A good indicator that you're with the right person is someone who supports you. In your education, I'm not even saying finance, someone who advises you even. Just go to school, get a master's, and is about to go to this interview that will give them a promotion. They try and make sure that they they make sure that maybe you don't attend, or if you attend, you're not at your best. They even just start trouble at night, maybe, and you're studying for that interview. You're trying to get to know that interview, everything, so that when you go, you're good and 100% at it. You find that a woman will make sure that you don't get time to read, you don't get time to study, you don't get time to check your CV, so that when you go, maybe they'll even make noise at you the whole night to just make sure that they block you from maybe excelling. We know very well when God decides, God has decided. Mungu akiamua that when God decides that you excel, that you progress, that you get that promotion, when your day comes, it's your day. But now, let's not be the reason why our partners don't progress. Let's be the reason why our partners excel. Even if that partner is with you right now and even decides to live 2 years down the line, you still have your blessings. You've not blocked the other person's blessings. So your blessings will still flow in and you can still excel. Don't cling on a person so badly such that you become a reason why they don't progress. You undercut them. Anytime they try to progress, you undercut them. Every time they try to progress, you undercut them. That is a very selfish behavior. And it's a toxic behavior because that is an individual who knows very well they are not good enough. There are things they are doing behind your back that are making them know that maybe if this person is in this position and they discover that I normally do this, they will leave me. That is a very, very bad thing to do for a person that you claim to love or a person that you love. If you love your partner, just help your partner to grow mentally, physically. Teach them. Don't be the one who is normally throwing words of discouragement at them. Even you won't progress, even you won't. Try to help them grow. That is what partners are. Yeah, like if you're in it for the long run, that is one of the things that will show you. So if you want to know you have a toxic partner, they will always try not to support you. If you bring about a suggestion, they will put it down. They will try to squash it. If you bring about a suggestion, they will try to squash it. That is how you will know that this person doesn't support me. Even if you start a business, they will make sure they squander everything. Your business, they make sure they're controlling the accounts. They make sure their accounts are empty. Every month they are empty. You can't even progress. You understand? Those are selfish and very unsupportive partners. If you have such a partner, talk to them, seek therapy, and if you know it can't work, just pace. When about you, it's about your partner, and if at all their mental maturity is not yet there, it's very hard to deal with such a person. Because a person who is mentally mature, who is ready maybe for a good and lasting relationship, will be able to do all these right things that I'm mentioning right now. Another way to be able to know that this is a toxic relationship that I'm in and lead to abuse, it will lead to physical abuse, it will lead to mental abuse, spiritual abuse, and all that, is you find that you have a partner who is putting you in constant stress, whereby you are always stressed. You're in the house in the morning, you're stressed. You're always having disagreements and quarreling. You're in the house in the evening when you come from work or to see friends, it's just stress. So you're under a lot of stress. You can even develop things like high blood pressure. You find that such diseases can start now, like hormonal imbalances because of stress-related issues. So if you find you're in a relationship where you're never smiling, where you're always wiping your tears, every evening you're like this, every morning you're like this, that is a toxic relationship. Relationships are meant to be happy. Relationships are meant to be fun. Yes, there are disagreements in relationships. I'm not telling you to expect 100%. But your place is not to be crying every day. Every day you are disagreeing. Every day you are quarreling. Every day your heart is just rushing. Like now it reaches a point where even when the other partner is getting in the house, you're even stressed. You just get headaches and such because of the kind of atmosphere, the kind of temperature that is in that house. It's not conducive for you. So if you find that you are constantly stressed in a relationship, there is no point where even the stress goes down. I mean, I don't expect it to be all roses and flowers every day. Yes, people disagree, but at least make it 80-20. At the point maybe within an year, 90-10, not 80-20. Make it 90-10. At the point in which within an year you are stressed, it shouldn't be at the 80% you're stressed, or even 50%. If 50% of the time you're in a relationship, you're under stress because of your partner, you're in a wrong relationship. At least make it 25 15 to 20% at most of the time, that is when maybe you will have disagreements, because you're human beings. There is no perfection when you're human. There's no perfect relationship. But if it is where it's 50, it's 60% of the time you're stressed, you're highly stressed, you'll develop diseases, my sister and my brother. Just leave that relationship. That is not your place that God meant for you. If it was a place that God meant for you, you will be happy. You will be smiling. That is how relationships are supposed to be. Smiling throughout the time, yes, but you will be at least getting a reprieve, that now it's a relaxing time, let's now enjoy this time, let's cook, let's laugh. And then now when 2% of the time you have those disagreements, we understand, because you are different human beings. You came from your home, I came from my home, we have different habits, we have different cultures. By the time we come together and mesh very well, it will take time and disagreements and very many tears. We understand that. But now, if at all, it's mostly tears. Just, that's not your place. That is not where God meant you to be. Be able to know maybe you're not in a toxic place is walking on eggshells. This is the person you love. This is the love of your life. This is the person you've committed your whole life to. And yet when they come to the home, maybe she or he comes to the house, you can't even talk loudly. You remember those homes for a long time ago, the life of a long time ago, the way maybe some of us grew up. Not our generation, the other generation, our father's generation, where the house was always silent. You couldn't even put on a radio. You couldn't even sing, because it looked like it was a mistake. That was then. Those are old generational habits. We have overcome those. And if you find that you are in this generation, our generation, to the 21st century, what should be typically happening is, when your partner is home, you're happy, you're laughing, you're joking. That is the way it should be. If you find your partner is home and you can't even drop a cup down on the floor, it makes noise, because it will become a blown up issue. You will even quarrel until it becomes a physical fight, because a cup has fallen. Someone is making you walk on eggshells. You can't even talk loudly. You have to whisper in the house. You can't even laugh with your house help. You can't even play with your kids, because someone is home. You're in a wrong place, and you should start now evaluating your options. You should start thinking, do I go to therapy? Because this is not a healthy environment to foster growth, to foster peace, to foster love. Because yes, you might be in love when getting in that relationship, but because of the things that maybe you find there, they make you just lose it completely. You no longer find you're attracted to an individual. You no longer find that it's interesting to be with someone. You find that you're even thinking of cheating, because you're so uncomfortable and maybe high stress. You have a lot of pressure in you when you're in the house, such that you try and seek for reprieve outside, to get happiness, to get someone who can smile at you at least. So it will even bring you to become a sinner. You go to hell because of someone. So I see, ladies and gentlemen, get a place that you know you are wanted, and maybe make it grow. You know, these are what I've read, whatever I've read, are 8 points that will indicate that you're in a toxic relationship. Happen in your relationship. Seek help. Don't leave immediately. If you can be able to work on it, maybe talk to someone. Talk to your pastor, your church leader. Talk to someone, maybe if you're a Muslim. Talk to someone if you're Hindu. I know Hindus are really communal. So those are people that maybe you can come to someone and talk to them, an elder person. They can help you through the problems that are normal in relationships. Even talk to a therapist if you can be able to get a therapist and afford it, so that you can find a way to move out of such bad habits, so that you can continue living well, growing well as a family, raising children in happy homes, and so on and so forth. So enjoy your evening. Subscribe to my channel. Kindly don't forget to subscribe. We'll be doing these talks weekly, any time of the week. We'll be doing one vlog on Conscious Vlogs, where we'll be going maybe somewhere, a hotel. You never know, like we'll be doing an outside the home. And then we'll be doing another video where you'll be just discussing things to do with dating, relationships, and families. How to just grow. So that was part of it also, the part of toxicity, relationships, dating, all that, engagements, what to look for in your partner, who to look for in a partner, so that we can all try and grow into better human beings and raise happy human beings. So enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your evening. See you back here. Subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bells, so that whenever I upload, in case you like this kind of content, you can be able to see it and maybe like and subscribe to it. Thank you and enjoy your